In this video, I'll talk about 2 strategies to help your child when he becomes upset and dysregulated. We'll also talk about how children develop self-regulation and how it helps them learn. Coming up. Hi everyone, BJ here. Welcome to Little Rooted Minds. A child with self-regulatory skills is able to focus his attention, manage his emotions, and balance his thinking, behavior, and feelings. When a child struggles with this, though, that dysregulation gets in the way of their learning and their thinking. Today I want to show you a couple of ways you can explain this to your child and help them grow in their ability to reflect on their own self-regulation. And in the process, we'll learn a whole lot about what's going on in the brain at the same time. Now, as you watch this video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video if this is a topic you've been wanting to learn more about. A great strategy for explaining self-regulation to your child is by using your hand as a model of your child's brain. You've probably heard about right brain and left brain thinking. Well, today we're going to break the brain up a little bit differently into upper and lower parts of the brain. The upper part of the brain is represented on our fist by the 4 fingers here, and the lower part of the brain is represented by the thumb tucked inside here. Now, our upper part of our brain is our thinking brain. It's the part of our brain we use most frequently. It's our calming part of our brain. It's the part of our brain where our verbal skills are located. It's the part of our brain that we use for rational and logical thinking. We can think through problems when we're using the upper part of our brain. The lower part of our brain is where our amygdala is. It's where our survival skills are all located. It's that part of our brain where fight, flight, and freeze are. Now, this part of our brain, the lower part, has been there with us since birth, while the upper part develops over time. So this part is very important. Don't think of this as good and bad. Both parts are good and necessary. It's just, when do we need them? We need this part to run away from danger, to duck out of the way if something gets tossed our way. We might also need this to fight back. For example, when a first responder needs to go in and rescue someone, they need this part of their brain. So this is an important part, but this is also a powerful part of our brain that when we're in that part, when we start to get angry and frustrated, and it overpowers our thinking part. And we can't verbalize when we're in this part of our brain. You've probably heard the term flip your lid when someone's out of control. Well, that's kind of what's going on. When you get so dysregulated, you flip your lid. And you can use this hand signal with your child and explain to your child, just like I'm explaining to you, how the upper and lower parts of their brain work, and that they might just be flipping their lid when they're feeling dysregulated. The ability to self-regulate is part of a child's executive functioning skills, and it develops primarily through attachment. In her work and research with children, Dr. Karen Purvis from TCU has developed the pillars of social emotional support. Now, when you look at these pillars, you see 3 of them right there: attachment, felt safety, and self-regulation. And in her research and work, Dr. Purvis argues that in order to get the felt safety and the self-regulation, a child needs first to have that attachment pillar built. That as we grow closer to our caregivers, to our parents, grandparents, those who are taking care of us as children, we're able to then develop felt safety and self-regulation. We see babies as they're born need others to help them regulate. They start crying and they're not able to self-soothe. They need a parent to cuddle them and sing to them and rock them and help them feel better. That's other regulation. As they grow a little bit, they start to develop co-regulation skills where they're starting to grow the ability to regulate themselves, but they aren't there yet and they still need us to help them along. We are naturally in the process training their brain to release the right chemicals to help them soothe themselves. And as they grow, they then develop the ability to self-regulate as well. Another great strategy for helping your child understand self-regulation and even to start becoming reflective about he's doing with self-regulation is a simple emotion chart. Now you could have one as simple as this one right here, or maybe as complex as this one here. It doesn't matter how complex or simple they really are, as long as they have a couple of basic components. Think about this emotion chart the same way you think about the chart when you go into the doctor's office and they ask you your level of pain, and they have those different smiley faces up there for you to pick from. You'll notice that a level 1 is at the bottom of the chart, and that represents being calm and self-regulated. It doesn't mean you're happy and excited, it just means you're calm and regulated and you're doing okay with your feelings. A 10 is highly dysregulated and somewhat out of control. As long as you have that 1 and that 10 and a line right between 5 and 6, you pretty much have a chart that you can use. What happens is, between the numbers 1 and 5, your child is regulated enough that they're still in the upper part of their brain. They can talk about their feelings, their emotions, why they're upset. They might be a little disappointed about not getting to play with their iPad, or they're frustrated that they have to go to bed early tonight. But they can still talk about it. Once they cross that line into 6 or higher, now they're starting to function with the lower part of their brain. Their emotions are taking over. It still might be the same problems. They still might be upset because they didn't get dessert, or because they have to go to bed early, or that iPad they didn't get to play with. But their response now is a little more out of control. Either they might be putting their fists together, or they might be clenching their teeth, they might be getting angry, they might be growling, kicking, or they might just be getting real silent and angry, and you can just see how angry they are. And they're flipping their lid at that point, and they're not able to talk about it, and that's a big cue to us as parents. That's where they've crossed that line. You can use this chart to ask your child, where are you at? What level are you at? If they can't answer you, that tells you right away they're probably above that line. But if they can talk to you, that tells you they're below. And if they can at that moment, afterwards you can ask them, hey, where were you at when you were angry about not getting dessert or having to go to bed a little early, or whatever the situation might be. But this chart is a very nice tool to help illustrate how you're feeling and where you are on that scale. And you can also use it to help your child understand, hey, you need to use your strategies to get yourself from your 8 where you're at down to a 5 or down to a 4, somewhere down there. If your child can't get the exact number correct, that's fine, as long as they can differentiate when they're above that line or below that line. That's the important part with this strategy. One question you'll want to ask yourself when your child is upset is this willful disobedience, or is this really a survival behavior, that fight, flight, or freeze, where your child is acting out of that lower portion of the brain? In other words, is this something they're making a decision about from their upper part of their brain, or is this a response, a reaction from emotions in the lower part of the brain? Now that you've seen this video, what other questions do you have about self-regulation? This is a growing topic, and we're making more videos about this. Let us know in the comments below, and your question just might help us zero in on a topic when we make our next video about self-regulation. Also, check out the description for links to several websites and resources, all related to Dr. Karen Purvis's work at TCU. She's well known in the adoption community, especially for her book, The Connected Child. However, her research and her strategies really can be used with just about all children. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to tap that icon of ours that just appeared on the screen so you can subscribe to this channel, and hit that thumbs up button so you can like this video. Check out some of our other videos that just appeared on the screen as well, and always remember, it takes a big heart to grow little minds. Thanks, everybody.